for me, it's that, kind of that arc of progress from being, for what I personally relate to as kind of a, not a burnout necessarily, but not a productive person, to, just growing and maturing into somebody who can move out of things and into new things and, just grow.
Yeah. I mean, then growing that's a big word. It took me a long time to kind of hit that growing stage. It took me, honestly, to find a woman and get married and all these things and want different things in life to really be like, man, I need to not do this all the time.
Right.
And really need to get my shit together, blah, blah, blah. Do I have my shit together? Sometimes, but everybody's life has different weights. So
Right.
everybody's in a different story. Everybody has their own story. Some people are still bad off. Some people are 50, 60, 70 still bad off.
Right.
Some people don't make it that far. Some people
Yeah.
never learn their lesson.
Yeah.
So
Still behaving like,
yeah, I went
18-year-olds,
60
yeah.
days without drinking, and it was kind of a game changer for me. I was like, okay. For a while, it's like, I don't know if I could. It's like you get so used to going out on the weekend or having a meal, and then with that meal or after your meal having a beer or a drink or whatever, and you're just like, it's a custom. It's like, okay, but prying myself out of that, because for the longest time it was every weekend. Sometimes 2 nights, 3 nights, just depends on how many times that we go out, how many things that we have to do. But pulling back and having that 60 days no alcohol really made me realize that I have that power to over my mind to say, nah, I'm good. I don't have to have that drink today, or I don't have to have that drink tonight. And it became kind of easy.
Yeah.
But I noticed my brain starting to want to do other things. And that was more functionable things, whether it's
Right.
work harder, clean more, clean this,
Yep.
figure this out, straighten this up, organize this. My brain was trying to do other things, right? Instead of focusing on when's the next drink coming,
Right.
or whatever. And then solid change.
Yeah.
And it was a game changer for me.
That's cool. That's definitely relatable to me too, because as someone who struggles with ADHD, which I wasn't diagnosed with until I was like 30, which I think everybody that knows me probably already knew that I had. But as somebody who struggles with that, the side effects of that are disorganization, procrastination, kind of a lack of cleanliness. You can tend to be kind of messy. But you're always you're impulsive, and you're kind of always chasing that dopamine high of social interaction. For me, is what it was.
Yep.
So it's relatable to me that you're talking about how your mind shifts to other things. I think you're still chasing that dopamine high in a certain way.
Right.
So for me, it wasn't. It's like, man, I really the side effects of alcohol are getting too much for me. So I'm gonna chill on that because that's too much.
Yeah.
But I got to do something else. And
Yep.
so that turns into doing stuff like this. We've been talking about a podcast for 3 years, and now we're finally able to do it. I think it's partially because our mind is able to kind of focus on something else. But it's, I've been focused a lot more on deep cleaning the house and trying to be organized, and even meal prepping and getting into the routine of going to a gym and things like that. And I think it's just because of the ADHD partially, but also because of kind of how we're built, where we're not the type of people that can just sit around and do nothing.
Yeah.
And we have to do something gratifying.
Yeah.
And we're however big or small that task may be, we're searching for something gratifying. And so maybe it's, man, I need to get a control over the messiness of this house, or the disorganization of this room, or I need to do something that's gratifying to give me that dopamine high, and that can replace what alcohol was giving us before,
Yeah.
or whatever it is. And
Yeah.
that's interesting that you brought that up, because it's so personally relatable to where I am right now, and it's wild. And it kind of proves that it's not the substance itself; it's the mental attachment to the gratification. For me, it was always social interaction.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always just having that social moment, and then in that social moment, you're so used to just grabbing a beer,
Right.
or an alcoholic drink. You're just like, this is normal, right?
Right.
You know, this is what I do, socialize, you have drinks. And still today, everything you go to, alcohol is involved. And trust me, I don't mind that. I will still have a drink. You might see me have a drink on this podcast, but it's not, you know, it's not an everyday thing. It doesn't have to be an everyday thing. And I think more people should maybe realize that.
Yeah.